Sweet! A new Wizife episode!
Did you ever really think about why you do what you do? I mean, for myself, why do I do the Wizife show? Why do I spend a couple hours a week doing the Wizife show? Why do I every morning go and I read a couple chapters in the Bible and I take notes on it and I put it online? Why do I do that? What's the underlying reason why I made those goals? Why I am taking action on those goals? Have you ever thought about that? What about you? Why do you go to work? Why do you go to church? What's the reason? There has to be something that's making you do this. Then we could looking even at the broader scale of things. Why do people kill others? Why is there violence? Why do we as Christians, why do we use self-denial? Why? What's the underlying reason? Let me tell you. I thought about that. I had to think a little bit about this because just this last Sunday we had this Sunday school discussion about self-denial. And we were talking about, what does it mean to really deny self? We were talking about things that we can do, like Tim Tebow, for instance. He always is telling people, giving God the glory if he loses or wins, saying honoring God because of it. That's a way to deny ourselves. That's the way to deny himself and do that. But now I don't know what his underlying reason is. I hope it's the right one. But I had to look at myself, okay, what is my underlying reason for it? See, those are techniques that we can use. To deny ourselves. And those techniques are good, but they don't matter if the underlying reason why you're using those techniques is not right. Let's look at Paul, for instance. In the Bible, he talks about, in Philippians 3, he talks about how he has all these things that he could be confident in his own flesh. Like the Pharisees, this was before he met Jesus. He talks about all the things that he went through, all the schooling that he had, all the whatever it may be. He was a perfect Jew, yet it didn't matter. He said it doesn't matter because of Christ, because of knowing Christ, because he wasn't doing it for the right reason. Now there's two reasons that I actually found out why people do the things that they do. There's really two things that it boils down to. Number one is significance. They want to feel significant and like they did something maybe great or something that everybody else will notice. Like that's the reason people steal, or maybe theft. It may be violence. Why they use violence, why people use violence, is because they want to feel significant. In their own mind, it makes them feel like they're somewhat in control. And it makes them feel significant. And that's why people do that. Then it's also the other reason that people do what they do is because of love. That's why Paul considered everything that he did up to the point of knowing Jesus Christ useless, worthless. Because he didn't do it for love. He did it for significance. He did it because he wanted to feel significant about himself. He wanted to feel like he was the best. He wanted to feel like he was the best Pharisee. That's why he persecuted the Christian church, because it made him feel significant. It made people look up to him and feel significant. Now, when he knew Jesus Christ, when he got to know who Jesus Christ was, when we met Jesus on that Damascus road, he learned something different. He learned how to take action without having it to be a feeling of significance, but rather because of love. He learned how to do things because of love, because he was in love. He was in love with the Almighty. He was in love with God. And that's the underlying idea of the Bible. That's what the Bible's all about. It's about love. That's why the two greatest commandments are love the Lord your God with all your heart, with all your soul, with all your mind, with all your strength, or something like that. And the second one is to love others as yourself. Because that's the reason people do things, is because they do it either because of significance. That's a selfish thing. They want to make themselves look good or feel good. Or they do it because of love. Which leads me to the question, why do you do the things you do? Why do I do the things I do? Why do I do WizIve? Like I asked earlier, why do I do the WizIve show? It's because I want you to watch this video and look at me and be like, man, Justin is the bomb. He is so great. I mean, look at what he's doing. And also with reading, taking the time to deny myself 4 to 5 minutes and going through and reading the Bible and taking notes and putting it online, is because I want to feel significant, like I did something, like I did something, main key word, I did something, or do I want to do it, or do I do it because of something greater, because I love God, and I want to do things for God, and I love you who are watching this, the people that are watching this, because I want to help you out. Which is it? And I had to think about that, and to be honest with myself. And I know it's because I love God, and I know it's because I love you, because I don't do it for my own significance. Now, sometimes it wants to rile up, and I want to feel significant because of it, but it's not the underlying reason why I'm doing it. And I can honestly say that. Now, that's the thing that's the reason I'm doing this episode, is because I want to ask you, I want you to look into your own life and see, okay, what's the underlying reason that I'm doing what I'm doing? Why do you go to church? Are you going to church so that people will see that you're going to church? See, it's like this. In 1 Corinthians 12, it talks about the gifts, all the different kinds of gifts that we can have, and that we need to desire the greater gifts. But then it says in 1 Corinthians 13, the first couple verses there, Paul talks about, even if he goes and gives all he possesses to the poor, and he has all these great gifts or whatever it may be, all these spiritual gifts, and he does all these great things, if he doesn't do it for love, it's useless. Now that's deep. Do you get what I'm trying to say? If he does that, does all these good things to feel significant, it's useless. But if he does it for love, it's everything. That's what it's all about. That's why people do the things that they do, either to feel significant or because they love. Think about it. Almost anything you can come up with, it boils down to, well, actually, go through this process with yourself, and everything that you do that, like for me, I'll do it for myself here. Why do I work out? I had to ask myself this, and it was like, why do I work out? It's because I want to be in better shape. Okay? So why do I want to be in better shape? Is it because I want to take care of my body? And I want to take care of my body because I love God? And in the Bible, it talks about taking care of your body. Or is it because I want to be in better shape because I want to look good and therefore feel significant about it? And I had to ask myself, why do I do the things I do? Why do I spend 40 minutes a day working out? What's the underlying reason? And I think it's to tell you the truth, I think it's part of both. The one thing is I do want to feel significant about my body. I do want to be in good physical health so that I can keep up in basketball or whatever, and so that I'm not a blubber person. So I can get rid of my extra tire around my waist. So there's significance in a way, and yet in a way it can also be love, because I do want to glorify God with my body. I do want to really take care of my body. And that's part of being a Christian, is to take care of the things that God gives you, and taking care of your body is one of those things. But all in all, I think it's a little bit more on the significance side than it should be. I got to work on that. That's something I got to work on. So that's something you got to ask yourself. But the main thing to ask yourself in this is the things of self-denial, going to church, listening to all the rules that your church may have or may not have. I don't know what church you go to. I don't know where you are in your life. I don't know what you experience. But to ask yourself, why? Why do I do this? And to be honest with yourself. Is it because you want to feel significant? Or is it because of love? So that's my challenge for you, is to make sure that the things that you do it because of love. Because it doesn't matter what we do. It doesn't matter what action you take. If you're doing it for yourself and to feel more significant in the eyes of others, then it's a selfish thing. And it's not what life is about. Life is about love. It's about doing things for love. So, find out in your life, go find out some things about yourself. Be honest with yourself and say, okay, why do I do these things? So anyway, if you have any questions, put it in the comment section below. Any thoughts, put it in the comment section below. And God bless.
Okay guys, the goal for the day is to do everything because of love. And this is the 19th goal, so it means I've done 19 videos so far. So hopefully we can get to a couple hundred videos sometime. Anyway, the verse that I have that goes along with this is 1 Corinthians 13:3, and that is, if I give all I possess to the poor and give over my body to hardship that I may boast, but do not have love, I gain nothing. This is Paul saying that right after the chapter of all the different gifts, explaining all the different gifts that we can get.
This is the part of the show that you maybe have been waiting for. I don't know what you're waiting for. But here's the deal. It's a biblical joke of the week. And as always, it will most likely be pretty lame.
Okay, me and my brother found this biblical joke online, so I'd love if you submit your own biblical joke so I can just use that. But here's how this one goes. It's, who is the fastest runner in history? The answer? Adam, because he was the first in the human race. I need you to submit your favorite biblical joke so that I can have it on the show. You can either contact me through the wizife.com website, or you can create a video response to this video on YouTube.
This has been the Wizife Show. It's not really a show, it's more of a thing of loving God and helping you to love God more. Anyway, my name is Justin Miller, and I'm out.